I am shocked that that one made your list.
What's up, peeps? Welcome back to Down Once More podcast with Matt and Raley. We're glad you joined us. We got a special little mini episode today that is not going to be. It is going to be musically related, but not on a specific musical. Matt's going to give us a rundown of what this episode's going to look like. But welcome back. Hi, Matt. What's up? How are you?
Oh, I am going on, as we're recording this, I'm going on like week 2 of being sick. So if I sound like shit, that's
you
why.
look like
I've
shit.
been dealing with a head cold and stuff. Yeah, that's just how I normally look.
Looking
But
rough.
I'm going to sound even more nasally and high and annoying than normal in this episode.
It's just par for the
And
course.
we're recording this in advance, so I'm hoping by the time this airs, I won't be on like week 4 of this cold. People will be like, this fucking dude's sick all the time. I was sick on my Last of Us review, sick on a mini episode last week, and then we'll see. But yeah. How have you been?
I'm all right. It's been a little cray. I'm getting ready to go out of town, so I'm running around like a crazy person. And I was doing okay today until we sat down to record this, and then all of my fucking technology decided to just fucking fail on me. So I was in a great mood until now, and now I'm just like, ha! I tried to connect my earbuds, and they're new, and I don't know why they're not connecting. They're fucking brand new, and they were expensive as hell, so I'm pissed about that. And my camera wasn't working, and my camera was working, then my headphones weren't working, then my headphones were working, but not with the right device. So, in short, I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Some behind the scenes for everyone. Every single time we go to record, there is some tech issue. If it's not on the front end when we're going to record, it's on the back end with the program we use to record, either with pulling down the videos. The last one we did together, for some reason, it flipped the order, like it mirrored them. And so I had to go through shit with support. So it's always one fucking thing or another. I want you to fucking pay for it. You think it would be fine. But we are here. We have survived. I got most of my tech issues out of the way last night when I recorded my Last of Us thoughts. I went through the whole recording. For some reason, when I do the recording program in the editor, it doesn't recognize it as the computer being active, so it'll go to sleep after a certain amount of time. So every other time that's happened, when I jiggle the mouse, it's fine. The recording's fine. Um, this time I went through, I recorded 20 minutes. I thought I nailed all the stuff I wanted to. It was good. I was going through and editing, and at like the 8-minute mark, there was no more audio for the rest of the fucking thing. Like, son of a bitch.
Oh, no.
So then I had to re-record everything, and it was already like 11 o'clock at this point, and I was feeling like crap. I'm like, this sucks, but I got it out.
And
Got
you're
out
sick.
at like midnight.
But you know, the second time around when you try to re-record something, unless you have like something that you like, oh, I forgot to say it the first time, so I'm glad to get another chance to bring this in. Unless you have one of those moments, the second time around trying to record the same thing, it's just hard to make it like feel natural. So
Yeah,
doing it
I
all
did
over
it
again, you're like,
differently.
I already said this shit.
Yep. And ironically, I actually forgot something that was kind of big that I talked about the first one, and I realized it when I was almost done editing, and I'm like, I'm not going to record another piece to put on here. It's going without it. So that's why I didn't talk about the photo booth in my Last of Us episode 7 recap.
Don't give anything away. I'm
curious.
2 episodes behind, so don't give me any spoilers. Yes.
Okay.
Anywho,
I won't.
Here we are.
We're
conquered
here.
all the technical problems for the night.
We have,
on everything
in theory,
around me, and I am excited because what are we doing this episode, Matt? Tell us all about this special little episode.
Okay. Well, typically, this year, anyways, we've been doing our first episode together of the month. We've been doing our vocal warm ups and pick three, that whole thing. Well, this month, the movie we're going to be discussing is Vivo, the animated one on Netflix. So, a little bit smaller scale movie, not quite as much to discuss. So, we're going to do it like old school, like we did in year one. We're going to do vocal warm ups, pick three, and that. So, for this
The
episode,
OG
we
podcast
the
episodes.
OG, the last year thing. Um, so
So
for
long
this
ago.
episode, we're gonna do a musical song draft. So we're gonna take turns, and we're each gonna choose 10 songs for our musical playlist. So, couple rules with it. We can't have the same song. So whoever picks one, the other person can't do it. So there
It's
could
gonna
be
be a
some
little cutthroat.
strategy involved with it. It could be. It's definitely gonna affect the order I pick them. Like things that
Oh,
may
for
not be
sure.
my number one. If I know you're gonna fucking take it, I'm picking it earlier. Um, so
So, in other
that's
words,
the rule. So a song
what's it?
can only be picked once.
Okay.
And then only two songs from you can only pick two songs from a musical. Like you can't do five songs from Phantom and five songs from Love Never Dies.
Which is too
Um,
bad because
I
that's
thought,
probably what my list would have been. It's five from
yeah,
each of those.
I thought about going real shitty with it and making the rule that only two songs could be picked from the same musical total. So that, like, if I picked two from Rent before
Oh,
you picked one, then you couldn't do any from Rent. But then I think that's too mean.
that's
And
rude.
I don't want to end the podcast completely. And then the only
For a
other
second time.
rule, and yeah, the only other rule and caveat is I think we should have at least one Disney song, is the requirement.
Okay.
There's no maximum. You could do all Disney if you really wanted to, um, but have to have at least one Disney song thrown in there.
I think
That's my
that's a good
thought.
one.
So,
I have a question. Um,
yeah.
now I forgot my question. Oh no.
All I said was, yeah.
I know,
That
but no,
shouldn't be
I
enough to
had
make you
it, and then
forget.
and you were talking some more, and then I was like, let me wait till he's done. And now I can't remember the fucking question.
That'll teach you to be polite.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Okay. I don't, and maybe it'll come back to me. Maybe it won't. I don't know.
Okay. Um,
Yeah,
I will be a gentleman. I will let you go first.
that is
And
so kind
we're
of
just
you.
gonna do back and forth. We're not gonna do snake draft style because with two people that's stupid. Where like you'd go, then I'd go, then I'd go, then you'd go, then you. I think that's
Ew,
stupid.
who
I think
does
we're gonna go
that?
back and forth. Well, it works better when you've got like more than two people. Like if you've got four people, so then the person who picks last then gets to go second. So it's more a
Fine, whatever. Who
fantasy
cares?
football
Oh,
draft
I
than the other thing.
remembered
But yeah,
my
we're just
question.
go.
I remember my question.
Hey,
Question then is not. Are, the idea is not necessarily to name them in order of importance. Then, since we might have to be cutthroat with them, this is not necessarily like these are my top 10, starting from 10 down to one, or my number one uber most amazing favorite song is number one. This is not a countdown, right? This is like a
right.
in general. These are the 10 songs that I, and this is like supposed to be like what I'm most likely to listen to, like my go to playlist, or is this just like
Yeah,
my top 10 songs? Like,
I think your top 10 favorite, and I think we'll do on Twitter and maybe Instagram, we'll do a poll too and let people tell us who they think has the best list. So you might want to do some pandering to the audience in there too. I don't know. Yep. But yeah, like I thought about do it like try to build the best playlist top to bottom, like what's the best intro song, but that
it's a lot
just
of
makes
work.
it too complicated. And yeah,
Yeah, it's too
I
much.
I I'd rather have it be cutthroat and try to snake things in front of instead of like, oh well, that's a finale song. I can't pick that first. Um,
Okay, good. I'm listening.
my draft pool that I have here, my list is not narrowed down at all. I've got like 25 songs here. So
Good, probably because I'm gonna be going. It's not, maybe not though. Maybe not. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go first, and the
Mm-hmm.
one that I'm picking first is intentionally picked because I don't want you to get it. I don't want you to have it. I'm
Fair.
stealing for my number one slot the song after which our podcast is named. Down Once More. And it is also an epic, amazing song that I have always performed in and around my bathroom. And we've seen before in previous episodes that I tend to act out all the parts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clip somewhere around there in the internet floating around of me performing all three parts of the Phantom and
Yeah.
Christine.
Our first
And
episode.
was it the first episode? Oh, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap. It was. That's right. Anywho, that's my number one song because it's amazing. And it's also like, I also have another clip that's on the internet. I think it's on my Instagram from many, many moons ago when I was up at 4 in the morning back in my insomnia days. Um, I sang one little part of that song about like the part where he's like, the wickedness of my apparent face. You know that part?
Mm-hmm.
But I had a mask on, like a like a facial mask, not an actual mask, but
Nice.
like the peeling kind mask, and
Yeah.
my face was all like peeling off, so it worked.
Nice.
I'll have to find
Nice.
that clip and see if we can maybe find a way to sneak it in there. But
Uh-huh.
it's nice and embarrassing. So that's my first one because
Nice.
we named our podcast number because it's such a good song, and I stole it, so you can't have it. Your turn.
That wasn't even on my list at 25. You would have been safe
You
saving
didn't
that
even
for
get the
later.
song.
Uh-uh.
Our podcast is ashamed of you.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of went with the name more. I thought there's some fun double entendres that could go with that as
Well,
well.
there's that too, but like it's
Yeah.
all good on Amazing Song.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
My
Which one are you gonna steal
looking
from me?
at my list, and I am gonna steal one for you from you. Um, my first one is going to be from Rent, and it is going to be La Vie Boheme.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Good.
know if that was on your list, but that's one of my favorites to throw on and sing with. It's a lot of
It's a fun
fun.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. So there were lots of other ones I could have gone with from Rent, but that's the one I'm gonna open it up with.
It's a
Was
good
that
one.
on your field? Would you have
It
gotten
was
it or
it
no?
was in my on my radar, but it is not in my top 10 choices.
Okay.
So far, no
So far, attempted snakes have been failing.
no
So
uh no punches have been thrown. All right.
okay.
For my next one, I'm gonna pick one from. I'll go with Rent. Tango Maureen.
Mm.
Feeling the tango theme. You'll see that later on in my list. Tango Maureen, definitely one of my faves to play and sing along with and act out because who doesn't love a good tango? And that song is also hilarious. So, as we both know, I'm a huge Rent fan. Huge Rent
Yeah.
fan. And so, yeah, that's probably of all the Rent songs that I have, that's probably my first go to.
Yeah. I like it. That's a good choice. Also wasn't on my list, but it's a solid choice. This
It's
is gonna
good.
be more civil than I thought. That's no fun.
I know, so fun.
Um
I'm just gonna start picking songs that you like just because you like them and not because I like them.
I know. I when I was building my list, I'm like, I actually don't think actually my next one's one. Nothing could have been on your list. And that I'm gonna go with my number two pick. I'm gonna go with Satisfied from Hamilton.
Hmm. Okay,
Not on your
it's a good
list
one.
either, damn.
Yeah, I know it's
Mm,
on my list, but I'm not. I'm
mm.
not too upset about. I'm upset, but I'm not too upset about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a good one though.
that's one of my favorite songs from that musical. And
It's really good.
the performance and the staging, the blocking, dancing, everything with that whole scene play out
Yeah,
so fucking good. So
there's a lot that goes
that's
on
my
in that
number two.
whole thing.
Mm-hmm. There is.
Good choice.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to throw out "Love Never Dies." I'm gonna go with not that song, that show. "Devil Take the Hindmost" is
Ooh.
death
Okay.
my numero uno from that show.
Okay.
Is that on your
That's a
list?
good one. Um, it was on
It's
my
an
back.
honorable
It was
mention.
in my backups. It was just, yeah. It was sitting there. It was ready to be called up if I needed it.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm writing down things so I know what it
Oh, good
is, and so
idea.
I
Because
can
I'm
make
not
the list easier. So
I'm not
that's
taking
what
notes
I'm
about which
doing.
ones I've used and which ones I haven't. Should probably do that.
Um, yeah. If you need a recap, just let me know and I'll shout them out for you.
Are you writing mine down
Um,
too?
yeah, I'm writing
Okay.
both of them.
Good call.
Thank
All
you,
right.
thank you.
Your turn.
So this is one I don't think you were gonna steal it. I am going to go with "Waving Through a Window"
Hmm.
from Dear Evan Hansen.
I
It
knew there was going
is.
to be a DEH song in there pretty soon in your
Mm-hmm.
list. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's probably my favorite one from there. That one and "You Will Be Found," but "Waving Through a Window" is one that is a little better to go on playlist. I feel like, while "You Will Be Found" is like it's uplifting and has a great message, I feel like overall it kind of brings the vibes down a little
It's
bit.
a little bit of a
I mean,
downer.
"Waving Through a Window" does a little bit too, but like the beat, it's more of an upbeat song, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's more fun. The song about anxiety and feeling alone. It's much more fun than
And if
the
you're not
song
watching
about
this,
not being
then Matt
alone.
put that in air quotes because it's
I
not
did.
fun to talk about
I
anxiety.
did. I tell you what, I was editing the Dear Evan Hansen episode, and I was having a rough week, and I was in the funk, and I'm like, why the fuck did we do this movie?
Why
This
have we
is
done this to ourselves?
why am I doing this?
I know. We
But
normally
no,
have so
that's
many
still one of my
laughs
favorite
and like
soundtracks overall.
we're usually like bouncing off the walls and laughing and stuff. And at the end of that episode, we finished recording. I was like, kind of want to like go cry for a little while, and that's
Yeah, I'm
totally
like,
okay. But like, it's not my usual vibe when we're recording.
no, I usually try to pull something like there's usually something funny or ridiculous that's said when we're recording, right? That'll
Yeah,
throw in the title, or as I'm going, I'm picking clips and putting together a trailer. I'm like, I am just gonna need to name this episode "Dear Evan Hansen Review." So like, there's nothing. But thankfully, at the end, you said that you had written down "Holy Sadness, Batman." So
I did,
that's what I titled it,
which is
and I'm like,
so
I
hilarious and
can't edit a
also
trailer. Yeah. And like usually our YouTube thumbnails, I take screenshots of something stupid that we're doing during the episode and put our
both of
faces
them
on there.
just
I'm
like
like, I have nothing to put on this. So it is the
sad
most
face.
boring thumbnail we have up there. But I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do for this. So yeah.
Speaking of
All right.
sadness, that goes to my next item on the list. Let's just get all the sad out of the way real quick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is a good point for the sad in the playlist. It's the middle. It dips.
It
So
is. You
go
need to
back
have
up.
it's realistic for life, right? You have your ups and your
That's right.
downs. You need to have some
That's right.
ups and you need to have some downs so that you can better enjoy your ups. Okay, people. You can't appreciate joy if you don't have sadness to compare it to. Okay.
True.
Okay. Life lesson is now complete. Moving on. I can't decide between the two sad songs that I want to give, but I'm gonna go with it's from Les Mis, and I'm like I've got two of them on I'm waiting. Let's go with "I Dreamed a Dream" from Les Mis.
Mm,
Sadness for sure, so
dude.
much
Yeah.
sadness, but such a good song. And I have to say this, even though it is not pitch perfect, Anne Hathaway's performance of that in the movie, she made some pitch errors. There are some things there that not great, but I read that she did it all in one take, and that Hugh Jackman was on set and watched her do that. All the first take she did it, and he was bawling off camera,
Dude.
obviously, but like watching her do that. So that gives me like a feeling of just like, okay, I understand why they didn't make her do it a second time to get the pitch perfect because the performance was so good. So when I listen to that song, I actually listen to her version of it, and it's not
Okay.
perfect, but it is so emotional. I can just see her face in the
Hmm.
end. It's just like, oof, gets me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
She.
number four.
Yep.
I think we're on
That's
four.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her emotion in that,
Yeah.
so good.
Raw.
Such a heartbreaking performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so raw. Like you said, it's not tonally or pitch perfect, but like with that emotion, like
My
if
God.
you're actually, because Les Mis, that was one of the things when it came out, and I could say this from when we discussed that movie, but I don't know when that will be, because it had some critiques on the sound quality and everything, because they filmed all the singing, they didn't do it
It was not
voiceover, like they
recorded
didn't record
separately
in
and
the
then played
studio,
over.
do it
Yeah.
right, they recorded it there. So
Sang
to
it on
give
set.
that kind of acting performance while singing is just incredible.
Yeah.
So
Unbelievable.
um my fourth one, I'm going to go with one from I'm going to go with my Disney one that
Okay.
I could save it to the end because there's no way you were taking it, and it's kind of cheating, but I'm going to go with Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie that Powerline sings.
Oh, wow.
It was between that or Stand Out, which is also the Powerline
Good
song,
choice.
which is not, it's kind of not really a musical song, but like it's a pop song in the musical movie.
Right.
But
Song within a
I'm
song.
exploiting that loophole and taking it.
That's fine. It counts,
Hmm.
I think,
That
right?
that that was yeah.
That's your
That was
Disney.
my
You got
Goofy
your Disney
movie.
check mark.
So that's my one required Disney one. More Disney ones could pop up, but
So
that's
you
my
got your check
required
mark.
one.
You
Check.
completed that task. Okay, so I'm gonna go with. Ah, this is tough. Okay, on the soundtrack, it's in Spanish, but the name of the song, I mean, the name of the song is in Spanish on the soundtrack. It's a movie, but I think in the show it is actually called the words in English. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. The soundtrack for the movie is called El Tango de Roxana.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the actual show it's Roxanne's Tango, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that is from Moulin Rouge, and of course it is a cover of an old '80s song called Roxanne. But the tango. I told you it was a theme. Tango in that whole scene in the movie with the courtesans in the cast from their spectacular show doing a tango. I love that whole scene with the dance and the music, and I think his voice, even though it's not traditionally what you would expect, he's like Roxanne, tin, tin, tin. You don't have to put on that red light.
I
I mean, that was pretty good, right?
That was pretty good.
That was a good
I am
addition.
shocked that that one made your list. That
You're
interpretation of it.
shocked, really?
Did you? Well, yeah, because I that performance. Now, if you would have said Aaron Fiat's performance of El Tango de Roxanne, it is when he does that breakdown that Ewan McGregor, the why does
Does
my like
my
that whole part,
heart cry?
and how he performs that, it's
Well, of
like, oh,
course,
goosebumps. It's so
of
damn
course,
good.
of course, it's good. But what I think
Hmm.
of automatically is the movie
It's
because I've
from the
seen it
movie.
100,000 times
That's fair.
and I love it. And I actually like his untraditionally good voice. I think it's
That's fair.
bizarre, but I like it.
Fair
So
enough.
that's my number
Fair enough.
5. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna give my number 5, and then I'll do a recap of what
Okay.
the ones are, so you can know what's off the board and what we've got.
Okay.
Um, this is where this is a problem that I always have when we're doing our vocal warm ups and I have multiple things written down. I'm like, I have so many options. What do I choose?
No.
Um, I don't want to do two this close together, but I need this pick. I don't think you'll take it, but I want it. And that's Wait for It from Hamilton.
Ah, I was not
That,
going to take that one, but it is a good one.
okay. I wanted to make sure I got it because that's my favorite song from Hamilton. It's one of those songs. Leslie Odom Jr. performing it is so damn good, and the whole thing is just that was the first song I fell in love with from Hamilton, and I'm like, I need this to be more than 2.5 minutes long. It's too short.
Yes, and his voice
I
is
want more.
amazing.
So that's my fifth pick.
It's an emotional song, and he has a spectacular voice. So yes,
Hmm.
it's easy to love. Easy to
Okay,
love. All right, my
so here's
next
the
one.
lineup so
Oh,
far.
sorry. Go ahead.
Halfway through.
Forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Psh,
sorry, 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 sorry.
psh.
sorry.
Uh, Rayleigh has Down Once More, Tango Maureen, Devil Take the Hindmost, I Dreamed a Dream, and El Tango de Roxanne. I have La Vie Boheme, Satisfied, Waving Through a Window, Eye to Eye, and Wait for It. And Rayleigh, you still need your Disney one in the back half, so don't forget.
I haven't forgotten. Trust me, I am a Disney queen. So
Okay.
my problem is gonna be which Disney song or songs to choose because I have so many good ones. I'm gonna go with "You'll Be in My Heart" from
Mm.
Tarzan. Bet you didn't think I was going with Tarzan, did you? And I actually forgot how much I love that song because I hadn't seen the movie forever. And then Rivers wanted to watch it, and so we watched it, and I was like, "Oh, Phil Collins and Glenn Close, like, and the gorilla mom and the baby." And then Phil Collins just takes it and "You'll be in my heart." So good. It's a
N-
beautiful
Now,
moment.
I was always a Two Worlds One Family guy. That was my Tarzan one.
Also a
So,
good one.
hmm but You'll Be in My Heart
Also a
is
good one is
solid
the
choice.
"Strangers Like Me." It's another one.
I've only seen Tarzan a couple times. I didn't. It wasn't one that I watched growing up. I think the first time I saw it was my ex in high school. I watched it with her. Um, I think I've seen it maybe once since then.
Mm,
So, so I remember not much about that movie,
it's really
except
good.
it
You
was
should
a
go back and watch
lesser
it.
version of George of the Jungle. So, George of the Jungle. Yeah,
Georgia the Georgia the jungle.
yeah.
Oh yes, he can be.
You got Brendan Fraser
Brendan Fraser, and in his prime
kidnapped.
in the
Dookie Dookie.
90s.
Ape napped. It's a great movie. I actually
I
so
haven't seen
fun
that
story
movie since
time.
I was like 9. I don't know how old I was when that thing came out, but oh my god,
I got it where that movie was had to be taken away from us growing up.
I think we
So
watched it
we've
so
discussed
much.
more conservative, everything like that. I
Like that movie
would
is,
run around the house in my underwear, and that was immodest.
and you were
So
screaming,
I didn't stop doing
"Ah!"
it. Yeah, I was pretending like I was George of the
Of course you
Jungle,
were.
and because that was immodest, and I kept doing it, I got
How
rid of the
dare
movie.
you, Matthew?
I know, right? Um,
Horrible.
my next one. See, I a lot of my go-to ones on soundtracks are sadder ones, but I'm trying to steer clear of
What does
that.
that say about
Um, uh, that I'm an emo kid at heart. I was always an emo music guy, and
So
so
am
that's
I though. That's what
what it
I
is.
like. My go-to songs when I'm listening to the music is just like sad as fuck, and I'm listening to
Mm-hmm.
it and I'm feeling the feels, and I'm like, why am I wanting to be? Why am I inviting the sad? Sometimes it just feels good to
Mm-hmm.
feel feels,
Really does.
and it's okay.
Um, I'm going to go with one from a newer musical that I'm not sure if you've even heard. yet. And that is Freeze Your Brain from Heathers the Musical.
I haven't.
It is, I discovered it from one of the random promoted Instagram posts with someone singing a different song from the soundtrack. And I'm like, I really like that. I'm going to check it out. I started listening to the soundtrack on Apple Music. I had never even seen the original movie from the 80s, Heathers, with Christian Slater and Winona Ryder. Um, and
Nope,
so I
that's
started
a
listening to the
great
soundtrack.
combo.
hmm And I fell in love with it. The soundtrack is so good. And then I went and watched the movie from the 80s. It's a nice dark comedy from the 80s. Um, and then there is actually now, it's been added to the list because they filmed stage recording, stage production of Heathers the Musical, and it's on Roku for free. So at some point, we'll have to break down that one because
We'll do that
I
one soon.
love that musical. Yeah. So it's always
Nice.
nice when it's on something you can watch for free and stream. So that's my sixth pick. So
Good choice.
you're up.
I'm gonna go. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Too many good ones to choose.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to the sad. On My Own from Les Mis.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay. That's now your two from Les Mis. You
I
can't
know.
pick any more from Les Mis.
And I have a lot more.
Do you hear the people sing?
Or
Okay.
Red, the blood of angry men. The talk of ages past.
Go to Aaron Fiat there. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm like, you have a T and then a V. How the fuck am I supposed to say that, man? I think it's Aaron Viet. Mm.
Just
Mm.
throwing it. Just throwing random letters in there. Seeing what
Yeah.
sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um.
Hit us up.
Okay. Number 7. I am going to go with dun da 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 Spooky Mormon Hell Dream from Book of Mormon.
Holy shit.
It is so fucking funny
What's the name of
and
it? Spooky Heaven Dream? What?
spooky spooky Mormon Hell Dream.
Yes. That is so good.
It is the just the music in it so good, the lyrics so funny. There's one point Jesus comes out, calls him a dick in it. Then a choir's like, Jesus hates you, this we know, for Jesus just told us so. And then Satan comes in, and
It makes
it's a
perfect
lot of
sense that
fun.
why you love this.
It's
Knowing you
so
and your
funny.
background and your history, it makes perfect sense that you love it.
And
It's
I'm seeing
deliciously
that
irreverent.
movie this month. Yes. That play. So I'm excited for that. That's one. There are better ones I should have picked for my playlist, but that one I was just listening today. I'm like, I love this song so much. It's going on the list. So that
It
was
made
my
the cut.
seventh. Your final 3.
Ah, dun dun dun. Okay, I'm gonna pick an untraditional one. I think. I don't know if
Mm.
we're eventually gonna do this musical or not. I'm sure that maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm actually, you know what? No, because I don't know if this counts. I don't know if it's technically a musical. I don't know if this is a
So
musical. And
from
if it doesn't
Rocky
count, you
Horror
can tell
Picture
me
Show.
and I can cross it out. No, but that is fucking amazing. And I do count that as a musical.
Okay, I do too.
The
Maybe that will be our
Waitress.
October movie this year.
That's a good idea. She
The
used to be
Witches.
mine from The Waitress. Is The Waitress a musical?
Oh, The
It really
Waitress.
don't...
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a Broadway musical. There's not a movie. The movie is not a
Oh, the movie
musical,
is not a
but the
musical. That's what I'm
Broadway
thinking. That's right.
is
That's
a
why I got
musical.
confused. Yes, 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 yes.
That's a good choice. That was on my list. But
Oh,
I
it's The
I didn't
Waitress.
feel like I could go with it cuz I this is just going to sound sexist. I prefer Jeremy Jordan singing it and performing it than Sarah Bareilles. So
You're canceled. You're
I
canceled.
know that's
You're a
why
canceled
I almost
human.
didn't say it.
Done. You're
But
canceled. Bye.
dude, you need to check out his performance of it on YouTube is so damn good. So good.
So
But
the
that is a
moral of the
great
story is
song.
Matt is a sexist pig, and he is canceled.
Yep. Yep. Canceling me. Hmm. Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to say more about that
No,
song.
you
As soon as
didn't.
you said the
Totally
title, I
cut me
went
off.
into that. So I apologize. It's because I'm sexist. I don't think women
Exactly.
should
That's why
talk
this is the
any
Matt
more than
show.
they need to.
See, still currently talking over me. Like I just, you guys, I don't even know how I deal with this. Okay, I'm being repressed. Currently being repressed. Save me. So, She Used to Be Mine is a fucking fantastic song and also feels the feels, lots of feels. But I like it because um, I relate to it. I feel like I kind of felt this way before and after I got pregnant. I was like, oh shit, my life is over. Like, what's happening? And then I like wanted to go back to the time when I wasn't pregnant. And then I was like, oh no, I'm actually really glad that I have this kid now, and he's actually really amazing and everything to me. So I feel like strong personal connections to that song, and plus the Waitress is a really great show. So yep,
Nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. I I have too many songs that I want to pick right now. I'm like, shit, I only have 3 songs left,
three left.
and I'm wishing I would have made different choices. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture when I made some of mine. Um, for my 8th pick, I am going to grab Defying Gravity from Wicked. I think uh Adina, why am I now pulling John Travolta and can't is it Adina Menzel?
Yes.
Okay. I was like all of a sudden I was blinking our last name and I was like, no, that doesn't sound right. I know it's not Adele Dazeem. That's what John Travolta called her at the awards show. But Adina Menzel, just that performance, and this is I realized I got away from trying to get the pander votes in with my last 2 choices. So, Defying Gravity is one of my pander picks. One, I love the song, fantastic. I don't know if you would consider it, I don't think it's really considered a ballad. I actually don't know the definition of a ballad. Uh, an anthem, a crescendo, it closes out the first act of Wicked. That's what I'm going with.
It is an epic
Defying
song.
Gravity. Hmm. It is.
I only have two more choices.
Hmm.
Shit. Okay. I am so torn because I have like 8 Disney songs that I want to go with.
Right?
Okay. I gotta go with my girl Ursula. I gotta throw in Poor Unfortunate Souls, even though I feel like it's a waste of a
Nice.
moment on the list. I have this history with Ursula. She is my spirit animal, and I'm pretty sure I told you this already, but I dressed up as Ursula for Halloween for a work party and
Yeah, we
performed.
put that video in our episode, and it was the first copyright strike we got.
Oh, we did.
It's because Disney dinged it for the 7 seconds of Poor Unfortunate Souls that was playing in the background. I mean, it
Fucking
didn't actually count as a strike. We just couldn't monetize it. So they don't usually monetize
well.
channels with 19 subscribers, anyways. So
I
we're
mean, we're really
safe.
missing out on all the
But
funds that we were supposed to be receiving from that episode, but
mhm,
whatever. Yes. So
correct.
that was me pregnant as Ursula. But I've always had like a thing with Ursula. She's just my girl. She's a badass bitch. And I love her. So I had to give her her spot, even though I feel like there are other musical songs that I really want to put on the list. Ursula just deserved her place on the list. So I'm giving up a spot for you, Urs. Recognize.
Mhm, I like it. Um, my number 9 is going to be. I'm now going away from the pandering again. It's going to be Tomorrow Begins Today from In the Light, Faustian Tale. I've talked about that musical excessive amount of times on here because I mean it's not even technically a musical. It hasn't been produced at all. There is just the concept like excerpt album that Michael Mott, who was he wrote the music and he's the lyricist for it, that he put together with Antonio Cipriano, Sierra Renee, Jeremy Jordan, some other people, and it is just a fantastic cast album that are excerpts from the play, and it is so good, and I love that album from top to bottom. And so that's the one song I'm going to take from it. I had like four other songs from it on here, but Tomorrow Begins Today is just the emotion from it. All the pretty much everyone gets a chance to shine on it. So that's my ninth pick.
Your choice. That means that I have one choice left.
This is
Uh,
your final one.
this is really tough. Okay, I'm going for it. Elephant Love Medley. Not. I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not unhappy about it. I'm not
From
unhappy
the
about it.
movie,
Moulin Rouge. It's
but
technically a whole.
not the medley from the Broadway one. Correct? The medley from the movie.
From
The
the
Broadway
movie.
one has like seven more songs in the medley.
Yeah, the one that I'm familiar with is the movie.
Okay.
Have I listened to the other one? Probably at some point, yes. But no, the one that I know and listen to is from the movie. Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman, and it's really technically a collage, a melange of a bunch of cover songs. But man, do I love it! So good. So
I
good.
like it. A solid choice to close it out. And you're
Thank you.
getting multiple songs basically, so it's a nice loophole
I know
there
I
too.
cheated the system.
I like it. Gotta cheat the system. Okay. I'm gonna give my 10th pick. Then I'll run down each of our lists. Then let's each give 2 to 3 honorable mentions just at one sitting.
That's
Curious.
just
Because I
because
have
you
ones I want to
don't
mention.
want to have your list closed out at those 10. You want to make sure you get a chance to say some other things from your list. I know you do.
Correct. Yeah. It's the Matt show. I'm changing the rules.
Yes, see, that sort
Mine
of defeats the purpose of picking 10 because the whole choice of finding
fine.
10 was having to select the 10 and leaving out the others. That's why this
Okay,
was a
you're
difficult
right.
process. If I always knew that I was going to
You're
get to
right.
tell you 13, then I would have just picked the 10 and been like, whatever, I can still get to
You're
mention the
right.
other three.
No, people just get to wonder about the honorable mentions. We're not gonna say them now
They'll never
because
know. And if they
Rayleigh
want to
just
know, they can
wants
ask.
wants you to leave. That's right. Okay, my final pick.
Dun dun dun.
I went back and forth between. Just kidding. That was gonna be my loophole. I was gonna name like
Ah,
5 things
see,
there, and that's how I
and
was
I
gonna sneak
almost
them
did the
in.
same thing. I almost did. I was like, it's between
Uh,
this one and this one, but I was like, no, Rayleigh, stick to the rules.
yeah.
Just pick one.
Okay, I am going to pick "Louder Than Words" from Tick Tick Boom. So
I was waiting for
I
your
love
Tick
that
Tick Boom
song in
selection.
general. I had 3 on my list from Tick Tick Boom, but ultimately this was the one I went with, and I feel like it's a perfect one to close out the playlist too. Like it closes out that movie so perfectly. It's such a fantastic song, and that's what I'm going with my number 10 pick,
Solid
and I'm
choice.
happy with it.
It's an exclamation
We
point
didn't
at the end of your
steal
list.
like anyone's,
I know.
really.
I think that's a testament to our diversity in style. We like
It
the
was
same
true.
musicals mostly, but we do differ on our actual song choices. And that typically happens when we're talking
Hmm.
about specific musicals. We're usually like, oh, I like this song. And you're like, I like that song. And we're kind of like, oh, really? I don't really like that song, but I like this one. It's funny.
So it,
Sorry.
I I have more variety
Ah,
because the only ones I have 2 from is Hamilton. You have 2 from
Rent.
um Rent.
Rent?
No,
No,
do you have
Moulin
Rent?
Rouge, not Rent.
No, you have 2 from Moulin Rouge and 2 from Les Mis. Um,
Pretty good.
but still, we got lots of variety in there. Good for us.
Oh, I had two Disney. I don't know if that counts as not being right.
Eh,
What
I think
else?
it's fine. Also, I'm now paranoid that we're gonna see what happened. My microphone was on a different setting. So
This just became
I,
the Rayleigh show. This literally is just going to be me talking and you mouthing for a little while and be
I
like,
may
"Yeah,
have
yeah, that was
to
a good point, Matt.
ADR
Sure, sure, sure."
everything.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yes, we
Yeah,
can
I
all
may have to
pretend like
try
we
to
can hear you, Matt. Sounds good. That was a great choice. Yeah, yeah.
read my
Anyway, back
lips
to
and
me.
ADR it. Yeah. I don't know. It says on there
I
that it
can
was
hear
fine,
you.
so I
I
don't
think
know.
everybody else can hear you. Maybe. Or maybe I'm
No,
just
I don't
lying
know
this
if
whole
you're.
time.
No, I have an outline around me, and I'm doing the little
That
bars
doesn't
on
mean
the
that I
side.
can hear
Fuck
you.
you.
Just because you can
Well,
hear
you
you.
just responded to what I said, so
I
yes, it
maybe I'm just
fucking
really good at
does.
reading lips. I don't know.
No, you're not. No, you're not. All right. We're not doing honorable mentions.
No,
So,
that's it. Close it
with
out at 10.
that, that
Living by the
will
rules, Matt.
that'll wrap up what we have here for this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's
Let
something a
us
little
know
different.
what your choices were. Let us know if you liked Matt's choices or my choices more. And the obvious answer is there. I won't even give it to you because it's obvious. But also, if there are any songs that you thought that we should have mentioned that weren't in the top 10, comment and let us know.
Yeah. And people, if you want to send us your top 10, if I am going to vote and decide who I think sends us the best top 10, and I will Venmo or PayPal you $5, a whole $5, bribing audience and listeners. So send us your top 10 and comment below if you enjoyed this, if you have ideas for different things we could do like this. I mean, realistically, we could do one like this of just Disney songs, and we could easily pick 10 different Disney songs too.
I could probably
So I
do
don't know.
this 4 times with just Disney songs.
Yeah, yeah, could. So that'll do it. Rayleigh, any last thoughts, any regrets on your picks?
Well, we're not doing honorable mentions, so
Nope,
to
we're not
tiptoe around
mentioning.
that. No, I feel good about my
Yeah.
list. I feel really solid. Like I
Okay.
picked choices that were true to me, and I'm happy with it. And if you saw my
Mm.
top 25 most played songs, most of those songs are on that list. So
My most played album of 2022 was the In the Light, that soundtrack. It was by a wide margin my most listened to album. I
not surprising.
Musicals are what I listen to primarily. Musicals and emo music. And every once in a while I'll throw some country in there. Right now, I'm big
God,
on
we are the
Hurricane
same
by
person.
Luke
It's
Combs
creepy.
and Motorcycle Drive by Zach Bryan. And Chase Rice has a new album out called I Hate Cowboys and All Dogs Go to Hell. Good stuff. It's the most country ish Chase Rice album yet. But,
On
and
that note,
Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras, that song is now stuck in my head. So,
good song.
mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway, moving on. At that note, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Don't forget to go down once more. Peace.
Later.